Hi everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Connection. I'm your host, Donna Wilberg. Well, tonight we're going to take you shopping. The holidays are coming up and we've got some special things to show you. We're going to be going to Planet Earth Rising. But first I'd like you to meet one of the owners, Paula Watson. Hi Paula, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We're really excited. Now, for the person who has everything, there's something for everyone in your store. And the reason that we're bringing this to our viewers tonight is everything you have in there is so special, and you've got a special story to share with us as well on how you got started with Planet Earth Rising. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, sure. Well, I started my studies in metaphysics in the 1970s, and actually at that time I was working for the state. I was an analyst, but I realized my only passion I had was metaphysics, and one day I said to myself, if I could make a living off anything in the world, what would I do? I said I would make a living off of that. So it was a few years later, after studying for many years, my passion, I was working with Frank Alper, who has the Arizona Metaphysical Society. And I had been working with him like off and on for 10 years, but I was just completing with him, and I was home, and I was sitting in my home in Wilton, and I had a view of the nuclear power plant where my partner, Daryl Trimble, works as an engineer, or he did work before they shut it down. But anyway, I was contacted by, it felt like a group of beings. I couldn't actually see them, but it was all telepathic, and they came to me, and I felt a very heightened sense of energy, and they said, we want you to open a store. And I instantly knew it was a metaphysical store, and I said to them, okay, what do you want me to call it? And they said, Planet Earth Rising, and they were very clear. And so
that's fascinating.
That was February 1987, and we opened 6 months later in Slough House, California. We had a very small venue. It was like 300 square feet. It was the old post office for Slough House.
So did everything start to fall into place, synchronicity? You know, was it easy for you to do this? Was it?
Oh yeah.
Did they allow you to have the resources that you needed to pursue this?
Yes, yeah, I believe everything is orchestrated, and I'm sure it was, my plan unfolding, and it was quite easy. My partner knew about the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show, and we went there prior to opening. We both had good jobs, so the resources were there, and I was very happy with the small store. It was 10 minutes from where I lived in Wilton, and I was still working for the state. And so I opened, and people would put doubts in my face, saying, well, nobody's going to come out there. I mean, Slough House has a population of 150, but the day I opened, I remember it was 11 o'clock, and I was a little nervous. I'm thinking, oh God, who's going to come out here? And within 3 minutes after opening, a woman came in and bought the most expensive thing I had. It was like a $100 bracelet at that time. So I went, okay, it's okay. And it was great. Our rent was so cheap, but 3 months later, I'm driving by Sunrise Boulevard on my way to my state job, and my guides came in. I don't meditate or anything. They just contact me, and they said, you need to go look for a bigger store. And I talked back to them. I said, why? I said, we're fine. And I turned immediately and looked to the right, and I saw this beautiful building, Plaza de Oro, and they said, go check it out, and I did, and that's where we moved exactly 1 year later. So it was, all our openings have been on October 1st, which is interesting. So a year later, October 1, 1988, we moved to Sunrise, and we were there 15 years.
Wow. So you've expanded over the years. From first you started with the gems and the minerals. Did you do readings at the time, or was it just the gems?
I had readers from the beginning, but yes.
Okay, so you've expanded, and now you're in Folsom, and you have a beautiful store, beautiful location. How does that feel to you?
Oh, we love it. It's great. Yeah, being in the historic part, it's a perfect atmosphere for our store, and we fit in quite well.
Now, did you get a message that said you were to move from Sunrise
Oh yeah,
to Folsom?
it was very clear.
Well, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we were just doing great at Plaza de Oro. Actually, we expanded from 1,000 square feet up to 4,000. People would leave next to us, and we would take over because we just kept accelerating. And but they sold the building, and all of a sudden things changed, and we knew they didn't really want us there. We weren't sure why, and I was a little nervous because it was like, now we were dependent on this, and our store had grown very nicely. So, but the guidance directed me to that we needed to buy a building, and so we started exploring that. And I was realizing we found out right away how expensive that is, and so I just kind of let it all go. It's like we knew we needed to go, and we'd already had moved to Folsom by this time, and we were commuting to Rancho Cordova. So I just let it go. As soon as I let it go, we went to the Thursday night market on Sutter Street. And I had a couple drinks and relaxed, and I walked by and saw this building, looked to my right again, and saw a sign for sale. And I knew instantly this was going to be our new home. That was on Thursday night. By Monday, we had made an offer, and he accepted it right away. It's a beautiful historic building. It used to be a Bank of America. So now we have 5,000 square feet. It is really incredible.
It's a great store. And if you haven't been out there, I am encouraging you to stop by and do the shopping trip to Planet Earth Rising, because you have so many different things there. And we're going to go into some of the fairs and the psychic readings that you do there as well. But we want to hear a little bit more about your spiritual guidance. So what kind of, are you still in communication? How does this affect you as a proprietor?
I use it in every aspect of my life. I believe it's available to all of us. We have the contact with our male and female aspect, the mother and father inside of us, and if we work with both of those aspects and get the balance point in our heart, we will always be guided properly. And I think the number one thing is following our intuition, which I do. If it doesn't feel right, I don't do it. And it's my guidance has, I have to say, always been right. But I realize it's inside of me. I do have a specific guide that I work with, Christ Michael, who is actually over our local universe. And all the books that I have been led to read have all been very orchestrated. I started with Seth, and then Course in Miracles, and when I went on to reading the Urantia about the universes and the super universes, that all fit into what soon I was going to have an encounter with my personal guide, who is Christ Michael. And it's been really exciting.
Well, we're happy that you have all these experiences, because now you've made available to us the information that we need and the things to help guide us into our own journeys. You've got crystals, you've got the books, you've got all different kinds of readers. So without delay, why don't we take everybody for a tour of your store? Tell us a little bit about the walls. The walls are incredible.
Oh yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, actually I was shown the walls in a dream about probably 6 years before we even moved to Folsom. So when we moved there, we redid the whole interior, but I had access to an incredible faux painter, and I just met with her and threw out some colors I wanted. I wanted silver and gold and purple and white. And she manifested these incredible walls. And I found out after she was done that it was the same colors of the Christ energy. I actually have a painting done by Glenda Green, who channeled a couple of books, and it was interesting the way that unfolded.
Well, they're very fascinating. And you've got what I call the crystal room. I always make it a point to go in that room because there's something about it. It balances my energy or something. It just feels like a magical room. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, which you had said used to be the vault?
Yes, when it was Bank of America, it was the vault, and yeah, the energy there is pretty incredible. I've been told it's some type of a portal. The walls were done by this incredible faux painter too. We actually have crystals embedded in the walls, and it's dark in there, so we are able to do the contrast. Right now we have like a beautiful LED lit tree and branches, and it's my favorite room. I like the light and the dark, and that's the light and balancing the light and dark is, I think it's what's really happening, on this planet. We are in this polarity experience, and
it's a very peaceful feeling you get when you walk in that room. You feel very centered.
Good.
It's really incredible. You've got some beautiful crystals.
Yes, we've started with our main emphasis on the crystals and secondary, I would say, jewelry. And we traveled to Brazil many, many times and went directly to incredible places where we found, I call them crystals from heaven. We did that for about the first 10 years in business, and traveled to other countries too to bring things from Nepal and Thailand. And
fascinating.
So yeah, it's been 23 years of getting our resources together, and it's growing all the time.
So as someone who studies, you also have a very wonderful selection of books. And I've noticed that you're expanding too. So tell us a little bit, how do you come by the books? Do you choose them personally, or?
In the beginning I did. Now Sharon Tyler, that works for me, she loves books as much as I do, and she chooses most of them. Our customers will recommend them. She looks at the reviews, and we try to be really selective. Since we sell so many things, we are not like just a bookstore. Now that we are more mainstream, we have expanded into things that the general public will like, as well as people just in metaphysics. And I think that's important because it's introducing them to the store, where our prior locations, it was very much a destination point. Just about everybody came was on their path. But now, being in a tourist part, anybody can walk in, and it's fun to watch them. I especially enjoy the children that come in.
They sort of zero in exactly what they want to. They're either going to the rocks, or they're going to the other things that kind of shine and have that energy that draws them.
Yeah, I like to just listen to what people say, and a lot of times I don't let them know that I'm the owner. I just like to kind of blend in, and they are incredible. And we do have a section just for children, and
so they can understand. They can start out and find their own paths very easily because they've got the tools to work with.
They bring the parents in, I tell you. It's amazing. Yeah.
We've got a lot of beautiful jewelry. You've got a lot of beautiful clothes. You've got interesting, I don't want to call them knickknacks per se, but little figurines and different things that people can pick up from all different. You've got the Indian and the Egyptian and the Celtic.
Yeah, the Buddhist, the Wiccan, Christian. Yeah, we try to have a little bit from all religions, or just people. Most of the people come in are just, I would say, on a more general spiritual path. A personal, probably is a better way, personal spiritual path.
Okay, so you've got the room in the back. I kind of look at that as the healing room. You do healing back there?
We have a classroom, yeah.
Okay.
And we do, we have classes, of course. We have belly dancing. We've become quite known for the belly dancing. They perform at least once a month. Right now we have a second Saturday event going on. It's a second Saturday art walk that's taken off really well on Sutter Street. As some of you may know, Sutter Street has been it's under construction. They're redoing the whole 3 blocks. It's going to be incredible. Tigard is doing it. They're doing an amazing job. It's been nice for us as people are still coming down, even though we have big trucks out front. But right now at Christmas time, they're taking a break, and the project should be done by this spring. But they're planting like 100 new trees, and
Oh, that's going to be lovely.
so we're really looking forward to that.
Now, you also offer the classes, you offer the workshops, you also have a spiritual festival that you do. Is that the first Saturday of the month?
It's the first Saturday and the third Saturday.
Okay.
And we have 14 different practitioners that participate, from aura camera to astrology, tarot, angel readings, direct intuitives. So we have it all. And I'm very selective of who's there, and they have a lot of integrity. I think most of them come from spiritual counseling. You know, I'm all about teaching people to fish and not create dependencies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been there for some of the psychics that you have, and they're incredible.
Oh, good.
So, if there's anything that you would like the audience to know about your store, what would that be?
I think it is an incredible experience just to come and feel the energy and enjoy all the colors and lights, and it is very unique. I'm the owner, but I haven't seen anything like it, and I've traveled quite a bit. So if you haven't, come down and visit it, definitely do that. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I've been in there for at least a couple hours sometimes, just looking at everything, and you still don't see everything there is to see. You really do bring a lot. There's something there for everybody.
Yeah, our employees do very creative displays, and we're changing it up all the time, trying to bring new things, and our prices are reasonable. The clothing is a lot of fun. I did have a clothing store during the 90s, as well as Planet Earth Rising. It was called Timeless Journey, and I ended up just incorporating it all into one store. So that's a personal passion I have. It's just fun, like what I'm wearing. We have